Hey, Dr. Trashy, and today I will explain what the red buff is, how it works, what it's best used for, and when you should start the red buff as a jungler and when you should not. By the way, I've also done a video on the blue buff, so check it out, I've got the link in the description. But anyway, let's begin. The red buff is a jungle monster that spawns at 140, and after that, if you slay it every 5 minutes. He is quite tanky, has powerful auto attacks but slow attack speed, and as well as the blue buff, he can get kited, but since he has a bit more movement speed, it's a bit more difficult to pull off. While the blue buff has a bit of armor and negative MR, has the red buff a bit of MR and negative armor, so his defensive stats are the other way around. Since auto attacks deal increased damage due to the negative armor, always ask for a pull, since only 1 or 2 auto attacks will already help you out a lot. When you then hit the final blow, you will get 100 gold as well as 200 XP plus 50 XP if you have a jungle item. But apart from that, you will get the Crest of Cinders, or as most people refer to it, the red buff. This buff lasts for 2 minutes, gives you out of combat health regen, which is nice, but you really don't notice it that much. Apart from the health regen though, you also get extra 2 damage over time on your auto attack, but even more important, a slow on your auto attacks. This slow is halved by range champs, and it makes ganks with champs like Master Yi or Ezreal so much easier. If you get executed by a monster, minion or turret though, you lose the buff, and when an enemy champ kills you while the buff is still active, he will have the buff for the next 2 minutes. Okay, now you know the basics, but when should you start the red buff and what should you do afterward? You either start the red buff when your champ either has no mana, so that the blue buff becomes pretty useless, or if you want to pressure a gank a lane as early as possible. In this short window of 2 minutes, your 1 vs 1 becomes that much stronger, and even with champs like Ezreal or Master Yi that normally suck at ganking, you can easily pull it off. Still, I would prefer to gank a long lane like bot to top and tell your teammates that they should let them push in, so that you're slow on the auto attacks combined with the damage, and maybe CC from teammates should at least force summoner spells on the enemy team. Also, you can fight better over the river and claim the Scuttle Crab, which is also easier to kill with your slow. Another option would be counter jungling. Ideally, you can do this with Shaco, where you kill the red buff with your boxes so much faster and afterwards immediately go to the enemy jungler. He normally would just have finished his buff and probably do one of his smaller camps, and since nobody expects this in lower elos, and even in Diamond, you can at least force his summoner spells and probably even kill him. If he escapes, you at least show dominance over him and force him to back, which gives you time to take his camps. When doing this though, your laners should have pressure and move priority, since otherwise you can get caught pretty easy. If you don't want this cheese though, or don't feel safe while doing, you could go for the red buff, then the wolves, and the blue buff, which gives you a double buff and level 3 and a perfect chance to gank. In general, is the red buff start more risky, but also more rewarding, since if you can get the first blood or an early kill, you can snowball the game. Now I only want to clarify who should get the red buff in the late game, and normally that would either be an off tank, like Jarvan or Renekton, since they become more sticky and can chase down high value targets, or I would give the buff to my AD carry, who becomes that in 1 vs 1 much stronger, and chasing and even more kiting gets easier. So that's all for today. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things, and if you did so, please leave a like. Also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.